Hello and welcome to another episode on Dear Charlotte Mason. My name is Bethany Mandel. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about early literacy. This is not a topic that enough people know about or are talking about, and because of everything going on in the world, more parents are home with their young children, babies, toddlers, preschoolers, than ever before in modern history, and I think that it's a topic worth exploring. So what is early literacy? I'm talking about basically the importance of reading out loud to your children, starting from birth or 6 months up until, whenever. But for the purposes of this video, honestly, probably like preschool. So I wanted to read to you 2 books that if I could make a care basket for every parent who has a baby, these books would be in it, because they are so important and they impart so much information that I wish that new parents could bring home with them. So the first book is The Enchanted Hour by Megan Cox Gordon, and it's all about the miraculous power of reading out loud in the age of distraction. And what I love about this book is also, she talks about the power of reading out loud, but also the not great things about screens and tablets. Along those lines, there's another book called Be the Parent Please by Naomi Schaefer Riley, which I also super highly recommend. But the TLDR is, please do not put your children on a tablet, unless it's FaceTime with their grandparents. Other than that, no apps, no videos, please don't. There's so much research about it. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about reading out loud. So let me read to you this portion of this book. A 2012 study found that children who enter kindergarten having had little or no goodnight moon time, which is reading out loud, tend to lag other children by 12 to 14 months in their language and pre-reading skills. Once at school, these children are just as likely as their peers to relish in the fun and stimulation of story time, with the rhymes and humor and adventures and illustrations and all the rest of it. Yet in their innocence, they stand separated by the unforgiving math of a phenomenon called the word gap. A landmark study in the early 1990s uncovered stark differences in the number of words that children hear or do not hear, depending on how they're raised. A gap of 30 million words by the age of 3. A 2017 study put the number at 4 million words by the age of 4. Less of a gap, perhaps, but a chasm nonetheless. So think about for a moment the words that you use in everyday conversation. The words that you're reading in the books that you're reading to your children, you're reading a lot different books. So for example, I'm going to show you a couple of books that I love. And I'm talking about ages like right now 6 months to 2. So this is a series. It's called, oops, dropped a book. It's called Mini Masters. And I have a box set, and then they come in other books as well. And basically what they are is works of art with artists, and every page has one of their pieces of art. So this is Rousseau. So if you look at the language for a moment on just a random page, in a clearing, the strangest sight of all, 4 men in stripes playing a game of ball. So first of all, notice the rhyme, but second, in a clearing. How often do you use a clearing in that way? Not very often. So that's, if you're imagining an imaginary checklist of new words, your child has just added clearing in that context to their words. And a lady watching them who seems oddly small. Again, oddly. Dreams are funny, they jumble and leap and take us on journeys while we're asleep. So that rhyming is wonderful, but also think about all the new words that your child has been exposed to. And through context, they're often able to figure them out. And they're just sort of adding to the words that they hear. So this is another one, Renoir. 2 friends pick flowers for a sweet bouquet. First of all, it's beautiful art. It's so engaging. And bouquet is not a word that you probably say in conversation very often. So anyway, these books do so many things. They expose your children to art that is the best art imaginable in the human experience. They do so by introducing rhymes, and they introduce lots of different new words that your child may not have already heard. And along those lines, I would like to read to you one of my favorite books, as you can tell, called the Read-Aloud Handbook by Trelisse. And the amazing thing about this book is that in the back of the book, it looks super thick, but it's actually not as super thick as it seems, because starting here, the rest of it are book suggestions. And he starts out with wordless books, and then he goes on to predictable books for younger children, and then he goes through all his recommendations for read-alouds by age. It's fantastic. This resource is just unbelievable. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the best books for infants according to Trelisse. Your book selections for the first year should be ones that stimulate your child's sight and hearing, colorful pictures, and exciting sounds upon which the child can focus easily. That's why I love those art books so much. One of the reasons for Mother Goose's success is that she echoes the first sound a child falls in love with, the rhythmic, rhyming beat, beat, beat of a mother's heart. Mother Goose and Dr. Seuss not only rhyme in name and text, they also must have sensed what researchers would later prove. According to learning specialists at the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development in Bethesda, Maryland, the ability to find words that rhyme appears to be an important one in children. Indeed, kindergarteners who struggle to find words that rhyme with cat are prime candidates for later reading problems. Moreover, considering that many rhyming chants found in children's games and popular children's books, like Seuss's The Foot Book, it's obvious that children find pleasure in words that rhyme. But why? Researchers say it is for the same reason adults subconsciously enjoy looking at stripes and plaids or listening to musical harmony. They help arrange a chaotic world. So, with that in mind, a prime recommendation is that parents frequently read aloud books and stories that rhyme. And then he gives you a whole list of suggestions. So along those lines, I wanted to show you a couple of our favorite resources for infants and going a little bit older. So our daughter is 14 months, and she's loved these books for a couple months now, 2 or 3, 4 or 5, I don't know. You can buy these at Costco, or you can buy them on Amazon. But there's a little puppet. It's a 3D thing. And we find that it's hard to get babies to sit for a book. And they are closing the book and da-da-da. And this little puppet that you can use with your finger right here is a really helpful way of keeping the baby engaged in very short, I mean, you can see it's one line, very short story. And it's also, they're classic children's songs that they're classics for reasons, and it's because they help grow a baby's mind by hearing the rhymes, and they're classics for a reason. So this is Mary Had a Little Lamb. And they rhyme and they're cute. My baby kisses them. It's the cutest thing in the world. So there's a lot of these. There's Mary Had a Little Lamb. This one is Baa Baa Black Sheep. I dropped Twinkle Twinkle has Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the beginning of this video. And I'm not gonna pay my editor to do this video for me, so you'll just have to believe me. We have another one, the 3 Little Piggies. There's a number of these, but buy them as a set at Costco if you don't have any of them, because it's cheaper that way. So along those lines, we love Dr. Seuss, and these are great board books. And so our third child, we have 4 children, so our third child is 3, and he still likes these. So these are the classic Dr. Seuss's in board book form, and the baby likes them too. This is good for ages 2 to 3. On the back here, you can see that there's a whole list of recommended books, and we own literally all of them because I went through them and I bought all of them. So Mother Goose, there's so many options. The guy who wrote Stregonona apparently has, and I bought them last night. I will link to it in the show notes, but here are some of the Mother Goose ones that we have currently. We have The Real Mother Goose. It's a scholastic book, And they have a list of rhymes in the beginning. There's a lot of them. Again, this is good for ages like 6 months to 3.5. So this is Little Bo Peep, Little Boy Blue. So we read a little bit of this to our 3-year-old, and he's starting to get a little bored because he likes more storylines at this point. But it's good for 6 months to 3. And in shorter bursts honestly, short bursts are good. This is another one that we have, Beatrix Potter, Nursery Rhymes book. Really difficult language, which is great. Buzz quoth the blue fly, hum quoth the bee. Buzz and hum they cry, and so do we. In his ear and his nose, thus do you see, he ate the dormouse, else it was thee. They're not all like this. Old Mr. Pricklepin has never a cushion to stick his pins in. His nose is black and his beard is gray, and he lives in an ash stump over the way. The illustrations are absolutely stunning. And again, think about that imaginary list of words that your child has been exposed to. This is where it's at. So a third one is quite old. And you know, I'm Jewish, so here we are. Mother Goose Rhymes for Jewish Children. It's super old. This is a library copy. I don't think it's in print anymore. And they started taking it out January 9th, 1978. And the last time it was taken out was in 2002. So it's by Sarah G. Levy. I'm gonna link to it in the show notes also. It's old, so it's from 1945. So I love it, but there's definitely some things that like I don't love. You know, like sort of the gender role stuff. Aunt Molly came for Hanukkah. She brought me 2 toys. A mechononis and a big kedor, just the thing for boys. Aunt Molly came for Hanukkah. She made me pretty curls. She bought me a new booba, just the thing for girls. That's one that we skip. But there's so many other ones in here that it's totally worth buying, and just, I mean, you can skim them as you're reading and you're like, oh, I don't like that one. But there's very few that are like that. And we sat on Shabbos and we were reading this for, I don't know, a while with my 3-year-old. Who can guess what I have? It's in a paper roll. It makes me think of Moses. What's written in my scroll? Jack Spoons could eat no prunes. His wife could eat no quinces. But when Shavuos came around, they both enjoyed their blintzes. So they're really cute. They're really cute nursery rhymes. And they're also, there's some cute nursery rhymes in here that introduce Hebrew words also. 2 little dagim, all my own, live in a bowl near my chalon. They swish and swim around all day, but not a word does either say. And so I look here and I say, what do you think a dog is? What do you think dagim are? And my kids are like, fish. There you go, there's a Hebrew word. So this is adorable and I love it. And you know, as much as you can love things that are a little bit annoying, but I liked it a lot. I ended on that Hanukkah one and I was like, grading, but 99% love it. So that's what I recommend for Jewish children. As they get a little bit older, I still love rhyming books. So I'm thinking kindergarten, pre-K. Julia Donaldson writes the cutest books. We own maybe all of them. And again, this is a board book, but she writes bigger books also. And this is good starting around age 3, 4. And the illustrations are adorable and everything rhymes and it's engaging. This one is obviously for Halloween. She has all other ones that people who don't celebrate Halloween, which we do, shh, don't tell anyone. Jews don't normally celebrate Halloween, but I don't care. It's a lovely holiday. But we own all of her books and they're delightful. So that's what I have about early literacy. Please, 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 if you do nothing else, take these out of the library or purchase them. Please read about the importance of reading out loud and also throw away your tablet. Thanks. Until next time, subscribe, click like, all that fun stuff, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thanks.